I am so excited because we are going to be doing a live social media audit today. Not only are they going to be doing it on my own social media, there's going to be two of you that we're also going to be doing that with, because I have the pleasure of interviewing a dear friend of mine and a top producer in New York City, well, actually Manhattan. And Ryan Garson is the owner and founder of Very Social. And he's had a real estate team for 10 currently, top producer in Manhattan. And we also have Cash Ely, who was formerly a mortgage lender, turned real estate agent, now a team leader and rainmaker over in the Tampa area. And I'm just so excited for this. Ryan, will you please tell him a little bit more about yourself?
Yes, Tara. Tara and I go way back, and really excited to be doing this webinar with you. And I go way back with Cash too, so a lot of history here. My name's Ryan Garson. I'm with Compass over here in Manhattan. I've been a real estate agent for 7 years now. I have a team of 10. And I really think that the way I do real estate is different because I'm all about, social media marketing, branding, video, today I think you're going to get a little taste of like what we do at Very Social. So I'm also the founder of Very Social. Sylvia, you want to pull up the presentation?
Yeah, sure.
And we also, Sylvia, it's what I understand, she is a social media manager for Very Social. And we also have Lucy Bradshaw as well with us.
So Lucy and Sylvia are so talented. I have no idea how to do any of that stuff on social. So it's amazing to have a team that has the skill set that I don't have, because what do I know? What's my skill set? Selling real estate. I have the vision, but I don't have the time or the skill set to really implement it on social media. So that's why I started Very Social. About 2 years ago, I was really heavily involved in, marketing my brand on social media, which means that pretty much I hired a full-time strategist, or I hired a strategist to do my social media. And she would work with me on, putting together a content calendar, my Instagram stories. And my followers, my friends, my colleagues, they all really started saying like, hey, what's going on with your social? It's so good. I love getting your updates. I love seeing the listings. I love seeing what you're doing with your family and friends. And then I started selling real estate. I actually started getting leads. I started connecting with people that didn't really know me so well, but got to know me through social media. And I started selling real estate. I started selling millions of dollars worth of real estate. So I actually sold a $4 million apartment because I did an Instagram story on how to work with first-time home buyers. And she reached out to me, set up a call. I ended up taking her out, showing a bunch of apartments, sold her a $4 million apartment. And that was my aha moment. This is somebody who I met one time at an event. We followed each other on social media, and it led to a $4 million sale. So I think the beauty of social media is that you could stay top of mind with your sphere of influence, and you just keep on posting. You're consistent with it. That one thing that you post, could lead to a conversation, could lead to a sale. It's brand marketing 101. So I started Very Social a year and a half ago, and we manage social media for brands and entrepreneurs with a focus on real estate. Right now, we have about 40 clients. 35 of them are in the real estate industry. We have probably about 30 real estate agents all across the country. So we know all the markets. We know how to create the content that will resonate with your followers. And we have a couple real estate attorneys, a couple title people, some real estate websites, but we know real estate, we know social media, and we're going to show you what we have today and what our process is, how we work with our clients, and we'll show you the work that we do.
I'm so excited. And that are jumping on, we will be doing 2 audits if we have the time for 2 audits. So if you want your social media to be audited by them as a free live consultation, just make sure you put your handler on Instagram in the chat, and then I will be able to get to you and I'll pick at the end.
Just so you know, we are going to be auditing Tara Carter, and I'm not going to hold back. I've been waiting for this moment for a long. I'm roasting tarot cards, just so you know. I've already looked at your Instagram page, and I know so many ways that I can help you. So just
I'm ready.
talking to you is going to be entertaining in itself.
I'm ready. All right, so let's talk about this strategic consultation. So is this kind of like what it happens like for your audits? Is that kind of the same?
Sylvia, walk us through. Tell us how we work.
Yeah, sure. So Very Social provides a variety of services. So you can see here strategic consultation, social media management, creative studio, and influencer marketing, which is to say basically, our clients are very busy real estate agents for the most part. And so obviously to come up with all these different aspects of social media is definitely a lot to handle. So by leaving it to us, we can basically cover all grounds of your social media, whether it be creative direction, talent sourcing, we edit your photos, we provide copy, we provide hashtags, basically all these things that if one person were to do, it'd definitely be very overwhelming, but we have a team of experts that can provide these services to make it a lot easier. So you can leave your social media to our hands.
Well said.
Ooh, Ryan. I'm not going to be harsh. It's really good because we do it.
Right. So starting off, this is Ryan, of course, our beloved Ryan Garson. So he is first and foremost our first client, and this is basically his growth over the last 12-month period. Lucy, I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, it's been very quick in growth. I'd say it's largely due to being extremely authentic. One of the things about Ryan is his personality, and we make sure we show that off with lots of video and make sure the copy is really authentic as well to match that. Also, as you can see, his stuff is heavily branded. So if you go on to the next slide, Sylvia, I don't know if it's got some there. Oh no, yeah, I mean, that kind of slightly shows that even with the highlights that everything is orange, and it's very consistent even with the editing as well. But I'd say the main thing that really is really good for Ryan is the stories. They're super personal. They're very timely. So like, let's say for spring, he'll do designs specifically for that. And for like National Pet Day, we did designs that celebrated that, so that people, I don't know, it's consistently interesting. It's not just very agency based and very like could be done by a robot. It's very personal. It's very authentic.
Right. So you can see with Ryan, him being basically Very Social's very first client, over this 12-month period, he'd seen basically this huge increase, starting at 6,226 followers to currently just over 12K. And
I worked really hard for those 12 followers.
Definitely. So this is basically an outline of the things that we do provide for Ryan. And you can see this is basically the growth that his count has seen over the time of working with Very Social. And over here, you can see Ryan basically amassed $25 million in sales with a return on investment of 1,200%. So you can see that basically social media agency is pretty essential for your business. It's especially in this day and age with the pandemic, like having a presence on social media is essential. And I think Ryan is a pretty good case study to show that.
I think something that really stands out is I get 250 to 300 DMs per month. I'm having conversations. I'm on there too. Like, I'm looking at the Instagram stories and I'm commenting. I'm giving people a thumbs up. I'm, saying that's a great baby. Congratulations on your new job. Like, I'm keeping in touch with my sphere and I'm communicating with them and they're communicating with me. And it's like, what you put in is what you get out. But these conversations, like, they lead to leads. Like, people are resharing my content. So I think, having conversations through DM is so important. Tom Ferry is always like, make your phone calls, make your calls. Like, honestly, I don't know if my sphere really wants to hear from me at 3 o'clock on a Wednesday. They just don't. But if I could like shoot somebody a quick DM with a thumbs up or let them know that I'm like talking to them, like, I think that's a great way to really stay in touch in this like virtual world.
For sure. But of course, it's not just Ryan that we work on. Here is another one of our clients, Jeffrey Green. He's a real estate agent based in New York. And you can see, even just comparing with Ryan's feed, it definitely has a different feel to it. It's a more rustic kind of like, more nature kind of feel with Jeffrey. And so you can see over the 8-month period that we've worked with Jeff, he's seen like a 740% increase in followers. So starting at 341 all the way to just a little bit under 3K. And yeah, so meanwhile, Jeff has had 2 buyer leads and sold 2 homes, amassed $5 million in sales and 50K in commissions. And this is all thanks to Instagram. So similarly, perform a bunch of services for Jeff that lead to all these story responses, likes, comments, basically keeping up with engagement. So that's Jeffrey Green.
I love it. I love that you guys have the examples as well to be able to show what the difference is. I actually have a question for you. For the DMs per month, how is that tracking? Is that the analytics that you guys pull? Is that actually in the insights?
In the insights, you can see things such as like story responses, likes, and comments, but I believe we basically count it ourselves. There isn't a metric to count DMs. So you can see definitely a lot for Ryan and quite a few for Jeffrey Green too.
When we work with our clients, we do a social media audit every single month. So like, this is how we're tracking our results for our clients. Because we want to show that we're actually, that they're gaining followers, they're getting more likes, that they're getting more DMs. We're having monthly strategy sessions with them to, keep the content new and, keep it exciting. Like, we really think of social media as like your own reality show. And we want to make it exciting, entertaining. And if you're paying money for it, you should be gaining money from it. And so, it's a whole aspect between personal and business.
For sure.
I love that. We're getting some Instagram handlers for people to help us. Anybody else who's jumping on, if you want us to do a live audit after they roast me, thank you, Ryan. Then put your Instagram handler in there. So I'll go ahead and pick 1 to 2 towards the end.
But yeah, you can see over here, these are some of the examples of clients that we've worked with. You have like a California-based real estate agent, another New York City real estate agent. So you can see we're based coast to coast, and depending on the client, so the next slide too, the aesthetics are all completely different. They're like individual. We make them unique to each and every real estate agent. And like,
I feel about the Instagram grid, it's like your website. We feel like the grid is your website, and the stories are like your newsletter. People are going to your grid before they're following you. They're going to your grid before your website. So this is like the aesthetics, the look, the feel, the branding, the colors. It really needs to just have fit you. It needs to look attractive. Like, you want to get more followers. Like, this is what they're looking at before they follow you, and they probably only have 3 seconds. So we put a lot of time and effort into making sure this grid all aligns, it looks good, it showcases who you are, where people can get a feel for you really quick.
It's the same with the copy too. We make sure to really get the voice of the individual client over to the followers so that people can really feel who's speaking, and it doesn't just sound like an agency has done it. We really get to know the person through phone calls and sometimes through like a little questionnaire, and just really find out the individual voice.
So we do this a month in advance, and when clients first start, they might come back to us and they might edit the photos or give us some edit copy points. But our retention rate is so high once they get a taste of like really high-end marketing on social media, we really get a feel for our clients. Like, the trust is there, and they usually just say, "Oh, perfect, you did an amazing job," and we just go with it. So this is a collaboration. Like, we can't turn on the switch and make you an Instagram star, but we can be the skill set behind the scenes to promote you and really make your social media look amazing.
I really want to park on one of the things for this page in general, and I love that you said your grid, your story, your brand, because you're absolutely right. From the very beginning, when somebody's pulling up your social media, they're 3 to 5 seconds. They're going to judge you automatically and form an opinion from you just from your current grid and how your layout is and what your style is. You can tell. And the stories, I use my stories like my diary daily. So I think that's.
We're going to talk about that, Tara.
Oh Lord, guys, I'm really not excited for this. But if anybody's nervous about not wanting to give us your names, I'm going to go first for you. So don't worry about it.
No one's going to want to go after.
Well, it's different. We have a personal relationship, but I just love your story, your grid, your story, your brand. And I hope that people really understand that and why that is so important, because they're not going to click on your website. They're not going to click on more information if they're not already drawn in from the very beginning.
For sure. And here you can actually see an example of one of our clients. We're joined here by Cash today. This is basically what his feed looked like before we worked on his account. You can see it's a little bit inconsistent in aesthetic. There isn't like a clear, cohesive aesthetic, which might be slightly confusing. But if you can see after, this is what Cash's feed looks like now. It's definitely more consistent in terms of color scheme, fonts, aesthetic, etc. So definitely very attractive if you were to land onto his Facebook page, his Instagram page.
And since Cash is with us today and is a team leader and producer in Tampa, Cash, can I ask you, besides having obviously a personal relationship with Clarkston, what was the reason that you decided that hiring Very Social was the best idea?
So he did an audit without telling me about it and let me know how much improvement I needed on my Instagram and said, take a look at his and see how many followers he has. And I've got a long way to go. And he was right. I wasn't being consistent about it. They just changed the game for me. And I've got a lot more engagement and a lot more followers in a short amount of time. And I'm just so happy that I decided to take his advice.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that you did one without even telling him.
I think if you just like take a look at Cash's page now, it just has a real flow to it. Like there's so much strategy that goes into like putting all this, putting the grid together. Like if you look at his old grids, like there's like orange, there's like the Live Super Bowl. Like the only thing I really like about his old page is his son, baby Cash Jr. Which is you have a very adorable son, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know what it is? This is what people do. They post every day. They're like, oh, I have a new picture. Let me post it. But like, I think if you're actually really strategic about it and you like look at it like you would like any kind of like a business plan, it'll really pay off in dividends. I mean, just go back and forth. One more time, you could just kind of. There's no structure to it. It's just like, you know what, today I'm going to post this. And that's what he did. But, once you have a team behind you that's pushing you, that's guiding you, like we really feel that we're an extension of your team.
But there's still an array of content. Like we've still varied everything. It doesn't become boring. We just mix it up a little bit and plan in advance so that we know that there's a flow and it all goes together visually. But as you can see, there's stuff like listings, there's beautiful places in the area, there's like personal stuff, but it doesn't lose that personality. It comes together visually.
That's super smart. It doesn't lose the personality. I like that you guys touch on that as well.
Ooh, so we've got Luxury Collective here, which is one of our most beautiful real estate brands. I don't know if you've got on the slide here the before and after. Have you, Sylvia, or have we just got this one?
I do not. I just have this one.
Okay, no problem. So this is one of our brands we recently started with, and they had loads of lovely lifestyle shoot images. They have, beautiful listings they're selling, but they just didn't know how to convey them. So between Sylvia and I, we've decided to do pure portrait imagery and more sort of professional way of writing and bring that touch of luxury. And I think for this brand specifically, we didn't want to do too many graphics on the images and just stick to, because as you can see, their images are beautiful enough on their own. They don't need too much editing, really. But yeah, they're one of the good brands to work with.
Right.
So we're probably working 2 months ahead of schedule. So we're like looking ahead of the calendar, like what's going on. Like we have been waiting for spring to come I feel like forever. I'm in Manhattan and we really needed to get out of this winter doldrums. But creating content based on like the season, on the holidays, and getting ahead of it, working with our clients saying, hey, it's National Sibling Day, I think on Sunday, it's National Pet Day. Getting ahead of these smaller holidays where it's not just like St. Patrick's Day and Easter. It's just a way for you to create content and those little holidays, like it affects some people. You just need to produce that one piece of content that resonates with that one person that leads to that conversation. And it also just keeps it different. It's more and more reasons for you to post.
On the major holidays, everyone is posting. And, these smaller holidays, like you said, there's just less competition out there. So you can get noticed easier. And it's been key.
You get noticed, so you need to jump on the hashtag as well. So things like World Health Day coming up in that is great. It's like free advertising, so it's definitely important.
Definitely. But yeah, another thing you can see just like overarching with all of our clients, like regardless of aesthetic, is keeping your brand consistent. You know, as Ryan mentioned, like your brand is your website. So if someone's scrolling through their Instagram feed, it needs to be, you know, immediately clear that that post is like, say, with this client, for example, oh, that's Sophie's post. Like you can see, like there's kind of like with Sophie, who's a compass agent, you can see it's like the compass colors, the font, the logo, the color choices, all of it, you know, not only ties together in like the feed cohesively, but also if someone were to stumble across it, then it's like immediately clear and like conveys that this is like Sophie's brand.
I want to ask the followers a couple questions. Like, you should actually look, if you have a website, where are you getting more traffic, from your Instagram page and Facebook or your website? And I think, you know, if you're paying money for like pay-per-click or SEO and you put that money into Instagram marketing, I think you'll see that you'll get a lot more traffic. It'll be, you know, your lead gen there'll be a lot more lead gen. And also this just putting your logo, having the colors like that are your colors in every single one of your posts and being consistent with it, that's a ton of work. We're busy agents, like we're fielding listings with 10 offers. We're trying to, you know, convince buyers to go above ask here. You know, we are busy doing what we do. This type of skill set, I don't know. I don't have that type of skill set. Like, I think the one thing with agents is that they need to think of their business, they need to like run their business like a business, and like that's delegating, like, you know, and delegating to an agency that's going to pay attention to the details and work on your branding on Instagram and social media. Lucy.
Yes, yeah. I mean, this is something that we work on all the time. It's not just myself. I mainly do the copy, but there's a good few of us within the team that go over this because, as I said, each client has an individual voice, and we really want to convey that. And initially, when we start out with someone, we have a few conversations, may it be over the phone or over email, to really get to grips with it. And I think for Ryan, we know that he's a very passionate guy. We know that there's a lot of, you know, you've got your family, you've got a lot of good things going, and you're very interested in New York, and here obviously you are with your wife. And I think part of what brings people into you is the fact that you are very human. So showing off those elements of your life is very important. I think
Who made this presentation?
that was Sylvia.
Maybe me, but
Put my wife and our anniversary on here. Wait, are you trying to say I didn't write my anniversary post?
no. The point is that we know Ryan so well that we can actually write his copy and pass it off as his copy. So
that never happened. That never happened.
But I think the problem is a lot of agents think that they have to just do stuff that's like heavily real estate, and that's not the case. Like, people want to see behind the scenes. People want to see your family. They want to see where you live. Like, people are nosy, and they want to know like your real life. And I think that's something people forget. And we can do that as well. It's not just like we just work on the real estate side of things. We get to know the personal side, so that stuff is, we can take it off your hands basically.
Back to the people that do business with you because they know, like, and trust you. And the only way to be able to build those types of relationships is they have to feel like they know you. And it's a lot of sharing, a lot of the downs that also go with the ups. And I know when Ryan mentioned that we are busy agents, I know that there's people that are on this webinar right now that are not busy and are just trying to figure it out, or maybe are stuck and they don't even understand how this works, either because they feel that they're not so great at social media, or they know that they can be better, or they just don't even know where to start. So I love the fact that what you guys are offering is just so beneficial to all different stages of someone's career.
You have starter packages too, and you don't have to have the $1 million listings. I think you just got to get on there and just be you, and you know, see what other successful people that are in real estate are posting about, and just do it and have your own voice. You just got to get out there, and there's no bad time to start. You know, it doesn't matter if you have 5 followers or 10,000 followers. Like, you know, you have to start somewhere.
definitely. But yeah, going off of just the previous slide, it's social media. Obviously, you don't want to sound like, you know, a total social media agency is like writing like your content. You still want to be personal, you want to be relatable, you want to have like kind of that human touch, because social media is, what the content that tends to do the best is the content that features people in it. The content that people feel like they can relate to, that they can also feel like, oh, I've experienced that too. So, as you can see with like Ryan's previous post and like, some of these, like real estate agents first and foremost are people. And we want to highlight that at Very Social.
I would say maybe 60 to 70% of the content that we produce for our clients is personal. We like to call it our pillars of content, where we break down our clients into their hobbies. So I think something really big that you'll see with my Instagram, Ryan G Sales NYC, I'm starting to diversify my client more. Like, definitely going to have my real estate stuff in there. Like that's a backbone to the pillars of my content. But today I posted a video about dressing for success. Fashion is a big part of what I do. As any real estate agents, we need to look good when we're selling. I'm also, really into food. I'm partnering up with a food blogger. I'm doing a video at a local restaurant. I'm a dad. I'm really into like doing funny videos with my kid. And of course, I'm into, social media. Like those are things that like, all right, those are my pillars. And then I come up with ways on like how to like break off those different points and like create the content. And we help you with that. And you honestly just have to really give us like the pictures of the videos, and we could write the copy. And, we're an extension to your team, but this is your reality TV show, and it can't just be about real estate. Otherwise people are going to tune out.
Also, if you want to branch out into Reels, like the Instagram version of TikTok, we have people specifically on the team that are really skilled in that and can help you through that. Of course, you're going to have to do some of the filming yourself, but we can come up with ideas for what you say and what you do, visual like mood boards for how to dress, where to be. It can all be sort of sorted out for you mostly. It's just you need to get in front of the camera.
Yeah. Again, you can't take yourself too seriously. Like you have to have fun with it. So we actually have our own in-house like team that does memes. I'm really big into the real estate memes. These are great for other realtors. Like they love this kind of stuff. And you're not only trying to like connect with like potential buyers or sellers, but like connecting with your real estate community is really important. I'm always, whenever I have something coming on the market, I'm always doing like a coming soon, or I'm posting and like that I have a listing coming up, and like people reach out to me, and I do the same with other brokers. So like these memes, they're hilarious. And we're doing these a month or 2 months in advance, really based on the season, or based on the current events and what's going on.
But yeah, of course, with real estate agents, their listings are just as essential. So in addition to, personal posts, it's important to, if you were to have like a new listing, or like say you close a listing or sell a listing, then it's important to keep your followers up to date with like what's on the market, what you have like in stock. And so presenting in a very visually attractive way in your stories is essential to kind of like attracting potential buyers.
And you could also post these in your in feed, and you could boost them. We do digital marketing as well, like paid Facebook ads. So, showing that you're successful, showing that you're doing sales, people want to work with brokers that are successful. So, we really can help put design templates together to showcase your success.
And also to show off your sold listings. People think it should just be live listings or teasing what's to come, but it's definitely important to showcase. It's almost like a portfolio of what you've achieved. So yeah, people need to see that.
The security code I have in my
589665.
sorry.
Going off Reels again, using all the features of Instagram really helps with the algorithm. It puts you higher on the feeds. So we can, like Lucy said, we could work with you on storyboarding. You send us the videos, we can edit it for you. This is a picture of me at this place called the Color Factory with my daughter and my family. Just diversifying my content. It doesn't have to be real estate, but these Reels, they help with getting more followers, creating more diverse content.
I mean, you're also showing your authority on the area. It's very important knowing that you're showing off that New York. People can trust that you know all the different areas, because obviously that's where you sell. So you don't just show off necessarily that you're having fun in an area, but you tag people that you think might respond and make connections within the local area, which is Color Factory's something that's really popping in New York at the moment.
I loved that reel, by the way. I watched that one.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome. But yeah, also creating like a consistent story, a series of stories too. Like you can see, we quite like this or that. It's like basically a series of polls, choosing between two options. So say with New York City neighborhoods, choosing between say like the Upper East Side and the Upper West Side, or celebrating National Puppy Dog Day, you can choose between a Yorkie or a Maltese. So kind of just like keeping your stories interesting and fresh. So it's not just listings with polls, basically utilizing all the different story options, polls, questions, the scaling thing as well, just to keep everything visually fresh and interesting.
I think the polls, when it's just this or that, it makes it so much easier, because when we're clicking through stories so quickly, it's like, it's just easy. You have two options, sometimes maybe three, and it's this or that. And that creates engagement, which creates conversations, which leads into business.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Cash, I feel like you're the expert here. Why don't you walk us through how we make you the expert?
So I've got a good example, actually. About 2 weeks ago, you had posted for me, benefits of using a buyer's agent, or what you should look out for in terms of qualifications of a buyer's agent. And there was somebody, based on the tags that you put on the post, a potential for sale by owner client was going to sell her home by herself. And when she noticed some of the things that we offered and what we were going to do for her, just based on that post, it was just a post about what to expect or what you should expect from a buyer's agent. We ended up getting a listing out of it, and it's under contract. And I wouldn't have gotten that if we didn't post that.
Wow, that's amazing! What a story! I wasn't expecting that story, but that's good. Yeah, I mean, I think being an expert in your field is really important. Like there's a lot of, there's hundreds of thousands of real estate agents, but everyone's got their own circle. And so, focus in on your circle. Like, don't worry about what everyone else is doing, and, focus on what you're doing and be that expert to your sphere. And it'll come back and it'll pay off in dividends.
Mm.
Yeah, I want to touch on that. I mean, I before I wasn't really engaging much. I was going on and just posting stuff on my page and about what we were doing. I've really focused a lot more on engaging with other people's posts, and I've gotten great feedback on that. Just really getting involved and taking a look at whether their clients, friends, families' posts and engaging with them on there. I get engagement back on mine.
Awesome. So we also help grow your followers organically. We find certain geo-locations, hashtags, and popular pages, and we manually engage with those hashtags from your page. And what that does is, we'll comment or we'll like, and then they'll come back and they'll be like, who commented on my page? They'll go to your page. They'll see that beautiful grid we put together, and that's been a great source of, getting organic follows that are in your target market. And so we can do this up to 20 hours per month for our clients, and it's been really working.
Yeah, so going off of what Ryan was saying, you can see we offered 3 different packages. There's Get Seen, Get Noticed, Get Attention. And depending on the package, we can either provide 12 in-feed posts, 16 in-feed posts, 20 in-feed posts, and stories per month. But of course, with each of these, we always provide initial social media audit, basically our suggestions for your account and recommendations for going forward, as well as monthly subsequent audits, just so the direction that your account is going in, like what sort of growth your account has seen over the last month, and of course, what we suggest to improve upon, for the next month to constantly improve.
Just so you know, these packages, they're $500 too expensive. So the Get Seen package starts at $1,000, Get Noticed is $1,500, and Get Attention is $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't let's pull up, so we actually, this is a new announcement that we, our clients and everyone's talking about growth. So we partnered up with Graham Butler. They're an agency that has over 200 million followers through other Instagram accounts. So they have the handles houses, $1 million lifestyle, home addictive, house addictive, luxury addictive, at real estate. And so what they'll do is they'll do account optimization. So they'll comment and like your post They'll do shout outs. They'll do like in-feed shout outs. And this leads to getting more followers, getting more likes. I've been doing it for like the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, and it's really helped with getting my followers up. Go to the next slide. They have packages starting at $297 and goes all the way up to $3,000. Talk to us about this if you're interested. Go on those Instagram handles and just imagine if you're on houses, they have 1.5 million followers, and they're doing shout outs of me, like in like, you know, a new listing that I have, or going to another listing and just showcasing it, or a picture of me. And I've been getting a ton of followers. It's been really good for lead gen if I want to have you know, post one of my listings on like houses. So this is a partnership that we're really excited about. We just inked the deal like last week, so we're just starting to promote it. I think next week I actually want to, next month I want to come on and talk about like growth and how to really grow your followers. But this is a great strategy that we're really excited to start working with our clients on.
That is super awesome. I love what you guys are offering, and if you're ready, I'm ready for a roast.
Let's do it.
All right.
And we do have a few more. There, I believe I have somebody that is going to be the one that's going to be picked. But if it is you and you would like to go after me, if you are not scared after he roasts me, then just put in your Instagram handler and we'll pick a few.
Okay.
All right, hit me.
Let's go. So let's start with your grid. Let's go down to the grid. So first up, I love this picture to the left. I feel like I need more like professional shots. It looks like a professional picture. We're so big on the lifestyle shoot. Was that a professional picture?
Yeah, I actually have 340 pictures from a 4-hour shoot. So I just don't want to put everything out on the same day.
Got it. How many different locations and how many different outfits did you wear?
I had 12 outfits, and I did it in my building, and I did 8 locations. So
we love this. If you gave us 350 pictures of this, we could use it. Now I guess it's the same weather year round in Florida. So it's not really like, you know, like now I can't use any of my winter pictures, but like there's a lot that we can do with your lifestyle shoot. Sylvia, Lucy, why don't you talk a little bit about what we would do?
Sure. So if you can see with the rest of the feed, like we really do like this photo. It's professional. It's the colors are clear and crisp. But meanwhile, if we're looking at some of the other photos, there definitely is like a pink filter that's applied to it that you don't quite see in this photo over here. So whether it be like this video or even like the quotes over here, it does clash with the aesthetic a little bit overall. So definitely a difference between, say, another professional photo like this and say, you know, this photo of the sky or like these quotes or tweets.
Yeah, I feel like also like you really go pink heavy. You know,
my brand's a flamingo.
I know.
I sell houses off of flamingo.
I feel like the overall aesthetic of the way that you go with pink and you go with flamingo, like it could be, how would you do it, Sylvia? How can we make Tara, how can we elevate Tara's Instagram? You know, she loves the flamingo, that's her icon. Like, what would we do to this page?
I do love the pink. It screams very Tara, so I don't think that necessarily needs to change. But there are a few ways I feel like it can, you know, be branded in such a way that it screams even more Tara. So for example, this is like more of like a screenshot of like a tweet. I think you can take this quote and kind of come up with like a more Tara-esque graphic. So you can put like your branding on it. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be attached to Devin. Like this, if you were to see this post like on your Instagram, like when you're scrolling down through Instagram, I don't think you would necessarily, you know, attach it back to Tara. So little things like this, I feel like can probably be
that makes sense.
To make it a little bit more unique to you. So like with this too, I think this could have a little bit more Tara spice to it, but I do think it's a good start in terms of like establishing like a pink aesthetic.
Oh, I like that Tara spice.
Well, yeah, even like
and even on the professional photos, I feel like Tara, there should be like your watermark should be on like almost on everything. Like if you like, it should be consistent throughout. Like there's some logos on some pictures and not on others, especially with your professional shots.
Okay. So that one was from the same day. The one playing pool is from the same day. And the one above that down a little The one for the photos with the books was the same day because that's in my house. Not that one. Go up. The one there with the
this
shelf.
one.
That's actually to the right of me right now. Just because when I'm doing these, I pull them down all the time. And then down a little further, I believe I'm reading a book on a hammock because I read a lot. So, and that was
This one. Right?
yeah.
I would come up
go down.
I would come up with different ways to showcase
this
like
one.
how
That
you're
one.
books. You know, like that.
That was from the same day of the other pictures from the shoot.
Yeah, I mean, you could do like what Ryan's done, like a Monday series. You could do like a book series that people come back to each week. So it could be, I mean, it doesn't have to be on a consistent day of the week, but it could be, you know, like every month I'll go live and discuss my favorite video, and we could promote that on the page. So it's just something like an extra pillar to what you do.
Definitely. I think also little things to pay attention to, especially when you're posting video, is the thumbnail. So this one, for example, I feel like
Not so attractive, but I was like, I don't care.
there could be a better thumbnail to select, just so it's a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, if it's I'm not sure about this video in particular, but if it is a minute or longer, then you actually are able to select a thumbnail. And so
That was
you can
me
make
embarrassing myself.
you can make it a little bit more consistent with your feed that way.
You know what? Let's do that. I want that video in slow motion.
No, I was trying to ride a flamingo. And I just
Very on brand.
Epic Terabis.
but my birthday hat and my sunglasses didn't come off. I caught them.
All right, let's go to the bio and the highlights.
Oh, I haven't touched highlights in forever. Actually,
Yes.
those are all
So-
really old.
I think if we want to bring, recall Tara's like flamingo pinkish theme, we can even change like the highlights so that they're more pink icons. It's a little like clear like what each theme is, because I feel like at a first glance I'm not quite sure what 7 levels might mean. So even things like that, even if it had like a more like clear highlight icon with like a icon that kind of more clearly demonstrated like what it was. I think little
so
things like that
that's
make it a little bit more.
So that's I've been a real estate coach kind of from the very beginning in regards to the #1 referred agent in America. He wrote a book called 7 Levels of Communication, and now I'm a certified trainer for him. So I would agree that nobody would really know that,
And then also maybe like, is that your second, like what's most important to you on like the highlights? Do you want that as number 2? Like maybe you go like the flamingo or, I just think I think we could just clean it up a little bit. That makes it all aligned. Let's look at some of Tara's stories.
And you better hit that follow button.
Oh.
These are all old.
These are old. Maybe if I go more the recent ones. Let's see.
Yeah, we can go to her more recent, I'm sure she posted today.
I did post today. My goal is 10 a day.
Oh, today. Let's see.
How did you come up with that goal of 10 a day?
Because I follow another social media rule before I post, always on Instagram or Facebook. So I have a scoreboard every day. Oh, that was that vintage thing I found yesterday, showing property. And so my daily goal for Facebook and Instagram is I follow a 50-25-5-1 rule before I go to post, and then also for the 10 stories a day. The 50-25-5-1 is just a scoreboard that I have that when I met with executives from Facebook with actually a dinner with LabCoatAgents owners, Tristan and Nick Baldwin, and they had said, so it's 50 likes or interactions, 25 comments with more than 3 words, and then 5 DMs or 5 interactions with stories that generates 1 referral or 1 new contact or appointment a day.
Wow. That's intense. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your stories are so raw. Like, I feel like they're really you. You're definitely one of those people that you can get to know just from that. Like, I actually like that vintage stove. I feel like that's pretty cool.
I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, no, I think your stories are good. I think they're kind of random. They're not really that curated. Your logos aren't on them. I think you probably just do it really quick. And you're good at that. But I think, I would say is that it doesn't always have to be, I think it could be like quality over like the timing. Like if you really maybe like thought it out the way that you did it a little bit more, it seems like you're just like, you come up with it and you just do it real quick.
Or random. It's like, because you know me, I'm random. Meaning like whatever I'm feeling, and I agree that one thing that I've enjoyed about your story is when you have the this or that, or you have the thing that Cash was just talking about as well, where it's professionally and aesthetically looking as well. And then I could have some of my random stuff where I'm raw and transparent, because I feel like that's so important. However, I do like the professional thing, but like you said, I'm too busy. I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to sit down and put that all together and do that.
Yeah, I agree.
And for those that are listening too, I think this is so important, and I can be a testament to, we average about 30 million a year, and we've never paid for a lead before. I don't have anything on even Google or anything. It's all generated from referrals from what my family as veterans had. And my business, about 80% is all from social media. In the very beginning, you know, I'm showcasing homes, and the way that I jumped into the luxury business is I was showing stories and going to every broker's open of luxury and every open house to know the inventory, because it's not like I had any other appointments anyways. And I would put them on my story on social media, and I would say, hey, do you think I'm previewing homes for a buyer. Do you think the seller would mind if I jumped in the pool? This could be all yours for 10 million. And I ended up getting a $5 million referral off of that. And and people are like, wow, you're crushing it. And I'm like, I haven't even sold a house before. And the only person who knows the difference between previewing and showing are realtors. So it was, you know, and for newer agents, that helped me from the very beginning. And that was from Tony Giordano's The Social Agent book and his seminars. If you pick that up, I highly suggest it.
Awesome. So are we going to do an audit for anybody else in the audience?
Yes. I would like to do, if you can see in the chat, I'm going to post it here as well. It's kind of long. Andrea has really been participating today, and I really, really very much appreciate it. So I wanted to kind of to pick her.
Okay, let's see.
I have not looked yet though.
Oh, is it the right? Did I misspell something? So
I think it's Realty.
Realty.
Yeah.
There you go. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
I'd say if we start with like the bio and the highlights.
Sure.
I mean, there's nothing like particularly wrong with the bio. I'd just say maybe shortening it into 4 lines instead of having 2 long ones, because it sounds ridiculous, but people's attention span just isn't, they're not going to read all of that. Whereas if you divide that into 4 parts, that will be a lot more, it'd be a lot more digestible. And we could also shorten the link, then just have like an arrow pointing and suggesting what is within the link, just to neaten it up a little bit.
That's true.
Oh, that's smart. Can we actually, and I want to come back to it too. For mine, for the bio, I didn't get your little, sounds like you know what you're doing for that yet.
For your bio? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, I'd say it's pretty close. It's kind of, because it's got everything you need. It's got contact, it's got what you do, it's got a little bit of your personality in it and the link. But I mean, it could be maybe neat and just on the choice of emojis and maybe having them all on one side. I mean, it's just little tweaks with this one.
The phone number is a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they can't click on it. I do have a number that is 695 sold, but is that really corny?
I think that would work quite well personally.
It's easy to remember.
Yeah.
But I will say that Instagram, if you set it to a business account, which you do have, it has like that contact button. So technically, including like your phone number is a little bit redundant and not too necessary.
Okay, thank you.
There we go.
So for her, just kind of shortening it or spreading it apart. And I agree with the link for sure.
And then I think just dividing it into multiple lines, almost a little bit like you've done, Tara, just having it on, separate lines so people can quickly see what they need to see and what you do. It's just got to get to the point, really.
I think also just like little
following more people than are following her.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But she's been posting a lot, 194 posts. Definitely the highlights. You know, I feel like I don't know what any of these are besides St. Bart's. I'm sure they're listings or something like that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I will say she's a fellow New Yorker. We don't have anybody in Westchester. We'd love to get a client in Westchester.
But also little things. You can also tag the brokerages. The brokerage that I believe Sylvie has an Instagram page. Little things like that would also be good to add.
And then what about her feed?
Feed wise. Let's see.
But like, you
I
know,
mean,
like we like to say our pillars of content and like posting like personal stuff. Like I'm not really getting her personality on this. It seems like a lot.
Yeah, like going with her dog.
Seems like a lot of generic stuff. There's a dog. I guess that's her son. I think there's a movie that she likes or something like that.
I think also the problem is there's
Eric Sotheby's kind of post.
And that there's a lot of awareness days, a lot of celebrations, so Labor Day and whatnot, which is good, but it needs to be broken up with some personal content and some real estate content.
And some lifestyle shoots. I don't really see any like real professional photos of her around town.
Yeah, especially with like the holiday posts, they definitely use more stock like images, so it does end up reading a little bit more generically than say, you know, using more personal photos. And then
I would start with Andrea. I would start with a lifestyle shoot, and then like with the different photos, you can have, you know, you can add on quotes, you could add inspiration, you could add tips. You know, you could do collaborations with local businesses. I mean, there's so much that you could do with a lifestyle shoot. I mean, I shoot one at least every quarter. And, you know, with different outfits and different places. So I think definitely start there.
It's smart. And then would you recommend that besides a lifestyle shoot, so for the ones that are maybe like, well, maybe they want to try to do the reels or the stories before they actually have the finances? You know how it is at the beginning, a new agent. If you don't have the finances to do it, is there any platforms that you recommend for them to go to if they're not there to hire to learn how to do those? Like to do a reel, let's say.
Do a reel.
And then I put another name in for you guys for to look at their account.
Awesome.
Ernesto, you're next. Erica was scared. She put hers in and she left. So Ernesto, you were up.
All right, let's do it. Let's do Ernesto. Andrea, call me. Let's talk social media.
But I will say Andrea is off to a good start, especially with the more recent posts. Like I think the navy is coming out a little bit more. So I feel like to kind of like exercise more of that navy, like in future posts, to kind of scream more of like Andrea's brand, that'd be a good direction to head towards. You know, maybe implementing the navy into her like highlight icons as well. Okay, let's see.
I love that you guys like dig down deeper besides just looking at this and just doing like a little audit, but getting to know the person of what type of personality they are and really, you know, how can you showcase more of that? I love that you guys
like
really
Ernesto's profile pic. I like that pic. He seems like
it's clear.
Hi, I'm Ernesto. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of funny.
I mean, personally, I think because it's already says it as the handle, I think maybe that's a good space to put in something else about him.
True.
So maybe there just utilize the space to say another part about himself. So if it is, I don't know, he might love cooking. I don't know. Just putting in something extra and tagging the agency as well.
You know, he's a funny guy. He's approachable.
Yeah.
Let's say story from today.
See.
Congratulations.
We're listing things, you know, such as like, which listing is this? Like, what's the address? Like, where is this? How much was it sold for?
Yeah, the buy side or sell side.
So, I do it a little bit too quickly. Here's a second one. So yeah, I think to make this a little bit more eye-catching, could probably, you know, use more of like a personal photo instead of, you know, with a plain background and like stickers. Just so like if someone's passing by, they won't instantly, you know, scroll past it because it just has like a whole block of text. Little things like that.
I think also if Ernesto does have the personality that we see here, it'd be great to get him on something like Reels. I know Tara, you were saying about like, could anyone just almost do that and where could they go? But I think you really do need someone who's professional to do that. I mean, I call myself even too old to do it. Like we have someone on the team that's 20, 21, that's a proper Gen Zer that understands Reels and TikToks and all that sort of thing. And I think utilizing that in every type of media within your Instagram is so important because moving like media is just really captures people's attention far more than imagery does.
Yeah, and in a perfect world, I would love to just, spend a day or two recording a whole bunch of content and then giving it up instead of spending that time in my business or spending that time out of my business, working on more of that content in the calendar and exactly what I'm going to post and is it aesthetically pleasing and then it takes away from me, follow-ups or, calling and generating more business when I could hire you guys really very social and then have you and leverage that. I think that's just genius. It's working smarter instead of harder.
It's even things like the hashtags. They're not as obvious as they are on Instagram, on Reels, and on TikTok. They're more, they change like daily and there'll be something really random, which I think you need someone that is like 19, 20, 21 that's really on the ball with that sort of thing to know that and to like put you in onto that hashtag, which we have on board.
Awesome. And then what do you guys feel from what you're looking at now from his grid?
Pastor, don't kill me here. I'm just not really seeing anything like really stand out. Like I feel like the pictures aren't really that high quality. There's no logo. Let's see. I don't know. It just doesn't really like pop to me. Like if I wanted to like follow you, there's not a post that like draws me in. Like what would Sylvia? What post would draw you in here? Let's click on it and let's look at it.
Yeah, sure. I think anything that's more image based definitely draws me in because I feel like screenshots with like a lot of text. You might want to leave those things for stories, like for the in feed. Definitely more curated. You want to be careful of like what looks good on your feed and what doesn't. So as for what looks attractive, I think anything that has Ernesto himself, like I think it's like with a person, I think my eye tends to follow it a little bit more closely than say something a little bit more.
This is cool. That I like. That I really like.
Yes.
Doing, helping.
What are some other hashtags you would add?
I mean, personally, I'd actually take quite a few out because it changes all the time with social media, as you'll know, but very recently they've said 10 or 12 is like the optimal amount. And they've got to be really specific. Otherwise you could get shadow banned. And I think things like, bigger pockets, people aren't going to be searching for. So it's about finding ones that really work for you.
Mm-hmm. Right. I also think nothing too general, but also nothing too specific. So if it's like, hashtag Indianapolis, I think that's a little bit too vague. And it's definitely a very large hashtag that your post will probably get lost in. But also like, not too niche so that there's only like, 2 posts in that hashtag. So something that's like a fine in between of like general and niche is probably ideal for, optimizing engagement. Right. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Ernesto said 10 to 12, high impact, more specific, keep them short.
Keep them short.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So where can anybody reach out to you guys if they wanted to hire you for your services, which they should? And Ryan, you should be calling me after this. So we
go
can
to our
talk.
website, www.verysocialnyc. Fill out a request. We can go over a presentation with you and really just show you, how we can elevate your social media. We also have a starter package that starts at $250 per month. We're offering half off your onboarding fee and a $500 discount on your first month for all LabCoatAgents. We probably have about 15 LabCoatAgents, so we're a big fan. We run the LabCoat Instagram handle. We work with Jeff and Tristan, the moderators. I hopefully after this roasting of Tara, and honestly, I feel like I was very nice to her. I really held back. I feel bad. I was really harsh on Ernesto. I should have taken that out on Tara.
It's okay. You can call me after and let's talk because I think it's time, my dear.
But I think we believe in really helping our clients. Not just with social media, there's digital marketing, there's Facebook ads, there's influencer marketing. Our clients, when I'm going on a list, like I'm talking about social media. We help our clients build pitch decks that explain how they incorporate social media into their marketing. Like social media is like business 101. So if you're not doing social media, if you're not branding and marketing yourself, if you're not advertising your listings on it, your competition is. So I feel like you need to get with it. You either do it yourself or you partner up with an agency like ours. And I think there's not a better agency out there that understands real estate and social media. Like, we have the skill set to really handle anything you need on social media. We're very, like, social media moves so quickly, and we're right there. We're a phone call, we're an email away, we respond quickly, we're engaged. We're pushing our clients most of the time. Like, we're saying, hey, are you going to get us this content? Are you going to give us feedback on this edits? Like, we're pushing our clients to do better. Like that, we want them to have more followers, to get more DMs, to do more sales. So if you want an agency that's going to have your back, that's going to help you grow your business, not just your social media, then we're that agency for you. Follow us on Very Social NYC, or follow me, Ryan Garson, at Ryan Sales NYC. I feel like I'm like the client. It kind of like starts with me, and then I think you could just get a real feel of like the work that we do, the content that we produce, and really just like the high quality of everything that we do for our clients.
And if you are interested in doing digital advertising, we don't just boost the post. We don't just simply click it out and wait for Facebook to decide where it goes. We speak to individually and find out your goal. So whether it be to get messages, whether to get downloads, and then we A/B test to see which kind of images work best for your audience. It's not just because a lot of people do just hit boost and they think that's doing advertising, and it's not. We personalize that to you as well.
I love that. And before we go, so it's verysocialnyc.com, and make sure that you mention LabCoatAgents in it. And the other thing is, make sure you're following LabCoatAgents at Instagram, and obviously on YouTube. You should be subscribing. And then just to finish this one off, you guys have been awesome. Cheryl has a question, and she said, which I think is a very good question. It's probably not the only one who thought about this. With your package, how much actual time is needed from us to maintain this, and how much time is needed to get it launched?
That's a good question. Definitely in the beginning, we're feeling out for our clients, where we're definitely trying to get a sense of like who you are and like what your brand is. However, I think once your first content calendar is posted, I generally think we get quite a good feel. So at that point, it's just a matter of like uploading images onto Dropbox. So however long that takes, maybe like a few minutes of your day, just to like keep us, updated with like fresh new content. Then all you do is upload those photos and videos, and we do all the editing from there. So you don't need to worry about like which specific photos. We basically curate from like what you upload and like work with that. So
Ryan, you have to call me. It's time. It's time. Awesome. So verysocialnyc.com. You guys are amazing, and make sure you, I appreciated flamingling with you guys today. You're pretty fucking fabulous, and I'm excited, and I hope others really got benefit from this. And we will follow up again next month and see how we can even scale maybe into the followers, or maybe we do more of analyzing people's accounts.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
You too.
Thank you.